So what's up guys, this is Jake from the Phantom Squad. Today we're going to be showing you a live door video. It's Liam on the left playing Orcust Phantom Knight, and George on the right playing Infernal Ignites. Both of these decks have been recently featured on the channel, so we'll put the links to those decks in the description of this video. I think Liam won the die roll, so he's going to get to go first. And he's open cow space, pretty strong. We'd really like to be seeing a gear suit with it. So he's discarded the Orcust symbol skeleton to search for White Dragon Wyver Burstar. So this is basically like a little engine that provides 2 link materials on the field without using your normal summons. So this lets you like extend through all sorts of hand traps and whatnot, and it gives you a free draw as well. So Liam has summoned his Gearsu, which has gone through. I'm pretty sure George doesn't play any hand traps in his deck. I'm sure it's just all gas, so he can just combo. So Liam mills Orcust Nightmare, and then he's going to activate the effect to summon tokens to both sides of the field, I assume. So this is like a pretty cool combo. So Gearsu on its own represents a Phantom Knight Rusty Bardish, along with a Ding setup in the grave, which then lets you summon True King of all Calamities on their turn. So that is probably like the way that Liam's probably going to go with this play. It's quite cool that he's got the cow space as well, because that means that he's guaranteed to be able to make the Dragoon at the end as well, which is pretty neat. So he summoned the Link Rebo. It's important to summon the Link Rebo because, like, obviously you need the effect monster to be able to make the Galatea in the first place, and then on top of that, you also need the Link Rebo in the grave to be able to tribute one of the Link Cross tokens, and then that allows you to make your Link 2 Dark Monster, which essentially becomes the material along with your Ding Gearsu to be able to make the Rusty. So he revives the Link Rebo. So from here it's usually like the Barricade Wall Blocker or the Akashic Magician, just whichever one you would usually you use it as just like a bridge for your Link summon. Yeah, so you summon the Akashic. It's quite cool as well that if you leave them with a token, it means that like anything like the Calamities or anything like that on the start of your opponent's turn is like immune to like Gamma and Impermanence and stuff like that. So he's banished the Gearsu from the grave to summon the Wyver Burstar. It's important that you drop this White Dragon before you activate any Orcust card, because then obviously you're locked into Dark Monsters for the turn. But as soon as you get this Light Dragon out of the way, then you're basically only summoning Dark Monsters anyway. So then from here, I think this Wyver Burstar turns into Striker Dragon. That would search for Collapse Serpent. Liam hasn't procced it, so I'm assuming that, yeah, it looks like he's already opened with it. It's not really a problem when you open Chaos Space and one of the dragons, because you can actually just sort that problem out yourself by summoning one and then just Chaos Spacing it back before you resolve the other dragon. So he is put back the Wyver Burstar, he gets to draw a free card. Preferably not anything to do with the Dragoon package, because those are like the only real true bricks in the deck. And then from here he goes into his Rusty, I believe. Yeah, so the Striker Dragon and the Akashic Magician make the Rusty Bard. That's going to allow him to send the Ancient Cloak to set a Fog Blade, and then the Ancient Cloak can just go and search for the Rank 1 Magic spell card. And from here he can just use the effect of Orcust Nightmare to send Symbol Skeleton, and then that way he can revive the Galatea, which he previously linked away into Link Cross, because he hasn't even used the effect of the Galatea either. And then that's going to allow him to summon Ding Gearsu, and then the Ding and the Collapse Serpent will likely become a Vert Anaconda, which will then summon a Dragoon from the extra deck. I'm interested to see whether Liam lets George keep this token, because it's not really relevant in the like in the first stages of like the Infernal combos, where you just need to like basically spam warriors to be able to make your assaults to resolve the effects. But it is a machine, so that can actually be used as a material to be able to go into Auroradon. So yeah, Liam's revived the Galatea. He's going to return the Nightmare by the looks of it. And then he's going to be able to set any Orcust spell or drop from the deck. So it's probably just going to be Babel, unless he's already open with it. Because then that's how you get the Dingeasu interaction on your opponent's turn. It's quite important here that, like, when you summon the Ding to add back the skeleton, if you can add the Nightmare, and then the Nightmare can just mill another symbol. But if you grab the symbol like with the Ding instead of the grabbing the Nightmare, it means that your opponent can't just draw Ash as the 6th card and then stop the Nightmare effect. And then that way, like, your Dragoon negate isn't forced either. So, like, although it might seem better to, like, attach the Nightmare, just directly attaching the symbol instead just plays around a lot more. Yeah, so Liam's chose to let him, chose to remove the token. I think that's fine. I think he's like, when is it ever bad to just take away a resource that your opponent has? I think especially as well when you've given it to them. I think it's got to feel pretty bad to give your opponent a card, like in the form of a token, and then that's what they use to beat you, I suppose. So these two are just going into the Anaconda. So then he gets to go search for the Wyver Burster, which you put back in the deck. When he activates this Anaconda, I'm interested to see if he has any of the Dragoon pieces in his hand. Like when you only have one, it doesn't feel so bad. I don't think he has. I definitely don't think he has two. But obviously, when all 3 pieces come out the deck, it just feels like you're cheating, kinda. So Liam's used the World Wand effect to summon Symbol Skeleton from the Banished. I'm just trying to work out where this play goes. Now, it seems quite cool that you can make Masquerena with this symbol and the Silent Boots. Yeah. I can't remember Liam's exact extra deck, but I don't think he does play Appaloosa in this deck. I know that he will play Unicorn. And then he's going to go and get another Fog Blade. So I think his back row now is going to be 2 Fog Blades and then the Rank Up Magic. And then George has also got to get through the Rusty Destruction, the Ding Send, and then he's also got to be able to do something through Calamities. Oh, and the Dragoon as well. So he's looking pretty strong. Yeah, so he didn't draw any of the pieces for Dragoon, so it's just completely free. And George probably wishes he was dead about now, so... what's quite cool here as well is that, like, so say for instance if George was to throw out like a Droplets, and then, like, obviously the big targets for that is just going to be the Dragoon, and then probably the if he's patient enough, he'll try and wait for the Calamities. What's quite cool is that Liam can actually revive the Link Rebo by attributing the token, and that can at the very least protect the Masquerena. So George opens with Heritage of the Chalice. So he gets to add any Noble Knight or Noble Arms card from his deck to his hand. Typically, I think Ogier is one of the most common cards searched off this. George has gone for Arfuduta. This is a pretty cool option. He's just going to be able to equip it to Liam's Rusty Bardiche and then attempt to start destroying some back row. Because Rusty is a warrior, like, he's a Phantom Knight. So Liam has proc the effect of Masquerena to be able to link summon. This seems more like it's just to free up the zone more than anything. So George has activated the effect of Arfuduta. He's equipped it to Rusty, which is a warrior. It is a Phantom Knight. Liam has responded with the effect of Masquerena to throw into Unicorn. So he's going to discard the White Dragon to target the Arfuduta. I think, like, that sort of line of play was just as important just to be able to free up the zone as it was to actually get rid of the Arfuduta, because at that point, like, Liam would have the option to just throw out all these Orcust effects and to be able to throw out the Calamities with the Rank Up. But now this way he can wait for George to commit and like another card to the field, and then just be able to throw it out there. Because ideally you do want to get the like the Rusty Pop and the Ding Send as well. Not necessarily because you need it to win, because Calamities is a pretty oppressive card, especially in this board state where he's got Dragoon as well. But it's just to maximise the value of what you get from your cards. So George has activated a Durendal and targeted the Rusty. So Liam's going to respond by banishing the symbol, targeting the Ding, of course. And then it looks like the Ding is going to activate its effect to send. And Liam's going to activate the rank up to summon the Calamities. So it seems pretty impossible from here. I don't really see a viable win condition from George's hand against this board. I think he's got double Fire Flint. Yeah, so it looks like a concession from George. So we're just going to go straight to game 2. And then in this game, George is going to get to choose whether he goes first or second, which he's very likely just going to choose to go first. Noble Knights are one of the most oppressive decks going first. You get to look at your opponent's hand, choose whatever card you don't like in it and take it away from them. You get to end on interruptions through destructions with Charles and the Synchro Roland interaction. And then you got the Gearfried as well, which you can actually summon as like the 4th summon, so it stops you getting the Rude. So now we're just power shuffling before going into game 2. So obviously now George is going to get to choose to go first. I think Infernobles is probably like next to the Dragon Link Rocket deck is probably like the most sort of scary deck to go second against, just because it has the high ceiling in the meta at the minute. It's quite like they're just both naturally explosive decks, especially as well with George playing the Ignite variant. So George is going first with the Ignite variant, playing the Ignite version of the Noble Knight deck. So it's really interesting with the Ignites because all of them basically provide as consistency, like serve as consistency cards. It means as well that you can just like fill your deck with these Ignites, and it means you can play like a 60 card deck, which is the max. That will help you filter out all the brick cards that you're like sort of forced to play in these decks because of like the like Halky Firebrax targets, like all of your Assault Mills. It just means that you draw like the multiple bricks in like less often. Playing the Ignites as well, it also means that you get a lot of value off your Soul Search, which you wouldn't usually. But yeah, it looks like George has gone Ogier into Gearfried, Karina Durendal. So this is like a pretty cool combo because this is going to be one of the examples where he gets to summon Gearfried as the 4th summon. So George has equipped the Durendal to the Ogier, which will let us search for any Fire Warrior. So he's gone for Fire Flint Lady. I think this sort of broadcasts that he either already has access to Renaud or he's not going to be doing like the typical combo. I think it's more likely that he's already got the Renaud because getting this Gearfried back seems quite good. So he's going to go into Isolde. And then he's going to go and be able to search for any warrior monster from his deck. Now, what's pretty cool about the Isolde interaction here is that if he decides to add an Ignite, Isolde actually specifies that you can't use the effect, like you can't summon or use the effect of the monster that you add. But because you activate it as a pendulum scale, it's treated as a spell, so you can use the pendulum effect, and you can use like obviously just the pendulum summon. So he's going to mill 4 typically. I rarely see him mill 5 off anything. Like this, we usually just summon Oliver because it's a tuner, and then he's going to be able to go into like Link Cross and then Hulk. I think the Hulky Firebrax target George is playing at the minute is Plague Spreader. This basically lets him make the Martial Meta Marcher and then the Tatsunoko with his Plague Spreader. And Tatsunoko is pretty cool in this deck because you basically let you like synchro with monsters in your hand. So it gives you another like use as well for your Assault Search. So you can either add a level 3 from his deck to his hand to make Coral Dragon, and then you can use Coral Dragon and an Auroradon token, which will come out soon, to be able to make the Infernoble Knight King Charles, or he can actually just add a level 6 Ignite and just go straight into Charles from his hand, which is pretty cool. So we summon the Auroradon, to summon 3 tokens. Scapegoat in the extra deck is pretty cool. So now, I believe he's still got the Plague Spreader in the grave as well. So like at any point as well, he can just activate the effect of Phoenix Blade to add it back to his hand, return the Phoenix Blade to the top of the deck to be able to summon the Plague. So George just stacked a card from his hand to summon the Plague Spreader. So I think this will go into the Synchro Roland. This is basically what guarantees that you get the destruction interruption on your opponent's turn. So once he synchros this Roland off, it basically just means that he's got a quick effect equip, which you can just stick onto his Charles in his opponent's main phase. So he's gone into Savage Dragon. Savage Dragon is probably just going to be sold. Or is that Hulk? Alright, so against 2 counters. And then from here, it looks like he's going to use the Tatsunoko with a level 3 in his hand. Or is that... yeah, that was Gallant, so that's just straight into Charles. And then he's just scouting his grave to see if he can go any further. So he's adding back the Phoenix Blade and then discarding it for Olivia. Okay, then so then this is the Herald. So I think this is going to conclude Georgie's opening turn. So what's going to happen now is just in the end phase, well, he's going to stick some Infernobles to his monsters first. So both of these are going to become equipped to the Charles. It means that he gains attack and he can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. And then in the end phase, he's going to be able to resolve the effect of Roland to send an equipped card from his deck to the grave, and then he can add any warrior from his deck to his hand. And then the Charles is going to trigger as well, which is going to let him activate the the Smoke Grenade, which he can then destroy because of just the direct synergy between the 2 cards, and then the Smoke Grenade is going to let him look at Liam's hand. And because Herald is on the field, banish a card. So George throws a Pot of Desires. I think in this situation, he really wants to see probably a Gearfried.
It's the only one.
And then Liam meets it with a Dragoon. So we'll see what's in George's hand. Are we in Scoopville? George activates Monster Reborn, reviving the Neospace Connector, and then banishing the Fireflint Lady to summon a Starthrow from his hand. I'm not sure like the level gain really matters here. It just looks like he's throwing it all into access code. So access code beats over the Dragoon for 300 damage, and then in the main phase 2 he's going to activate the effect of access code Talker to destroy the Anaconda, and then he's just going to banish the Astolfo. So in 2 standby phases from now he just gets to summon Fire Guy from the banished on the grave. Liam drew a Lord of Darkness for turn, drew 2 cards and then banished a Gearsu by the looks of it.
Yeah. So you took 66. Standby. What a dead game. Been on there.
So Liam top decked a world one, which means that he can discard it to add back the Babel from his hand. This now means that he gets to use the wand to summon back a Gearsu, and that just looks like it's 4 combo.
That's kind of mad, yeah. Sacky shit.
Is that World Legacy World Wand for game?
Oh, I can buy one more time. What are you getting?
So one of the cool things about Orcust is that basically with any Orcust monster, mainly if it's Gearsu, like he's the only one card sort of Orcust that does it. It's just instant access to Gearsu, which means like anything big and silly like access code, he's just gonna be able to remove. Although he's not gonna like win the game this turn, sort of like the momentum for who is sort of like in the driver's seat has completely switched to Liam in this turn. It looks like.
What's my life? 60. You took 66. So you're on 14.
66.
2000.
Did you start with that last time? Oh yeah, of course, yeah. So it looks like Liam's going to make the Galatea. Or is it? Yep, the Galatea. Galatia.
It's mad how lightly Karibo has banished itself.
And then he's going to turn the Galatea into the Link Cross. The Link Cross is going to leave some 2 tokens. And then from here, he's just going to revive the Link Rebo. This looks very sort of like the standard combo. What's quite cool now is that he gets to summon the Akashic Magician to one of access code pointer zones.
How would you discard with 6? Oh dear.
I don't think Liam can go the whole way for the calamities at this point, because I think he went through the rank up manager. But I think at this point, just being able to search the Crescendo seems cool. I don't think he's been through Crescendo yet. I don't believe George has taken any damage this game, so I think it's going to be quite unrealistic for Liam to be able to go for the game shot unless... yeah, he's already revived the Link Rebo this turn. Yeah, so it looks like he's just setting up for the following turn, just making it so that George isn't able to pull back a like a Saki top deck, I suppose. The Crescendo obviously a very powerful card, negates anything. So he's made Gearsu just to reattach. Yeah, so from here, from what I can see, it just looks like the game is like Liam has just got full control of the game. I'm not really sure what George can draw here, which changes the outcome. Yeah, so it looks like he's going to go into the Rusty anyway, and then he's going to have the double disruption through the Rusty and the Ding. Where's that Galatea? Yeah, well, Galatea works too. He's got the Crescendo.
Yeah.
So it looks like a Super Quantal red layer. Summoned it to Galatea's link point for whatever reason. And then it's a normal summoned Ogier, activated its effect to send one from the depths of the grave. And it's met with orchestrated crescendo. So here comes Dingirsu in the battle phase. Obviously, through the effect of Babel, all the Orcust monsters are quick effects, so we can just summon this when George declares an attack with the red layer. And then George left at 0 cards.
How much have I took? 26.
This will be,
Yeah.
stand on
Yep, so that's it. So Liam took the win with this one. For somehow he drew World Legacy World Wand and it
I don't know what
destroyed the game state. So yeah, so that was our first sort of like match. We're gonna have like a few coming up, but we got some games with Dragon Maze coming up. We might have some with Sky Striker. I think George mentioned Plunder Patrol he's gonna have a mess about with. So yeah, just keep tuned. We're gonna post quite a few Duel videos, especially now with locals disappearing again. Because no, like this is sort of like our only sort of way of playing competitively.